clean pennies. Let me show you one of these pretty pennies. Why would one of these pennies be so shiny still? Do you know, Will? What? Not yet. We haven't done that yet. Look at the date. Can you read the date on it? What does the date say? It was made just 2 years ago. So it's pretty new, isn't it? Can you read any of the dates on these pennies? Can you read any of them? Can you tell me one of them? 1985. Is that a few years ago? It's a few more years than just a few, isn't it?
This one says 1941.
1941. And it looks pretty dark.
This one is cleaner than this one, and this one is made like 10 years.
Do you think that we can make these pennies that we have right here just as shiny as that one? Because you've seen it before. Okay.
I don't know, these pennies are pretty old.
They are pretty old. And if we could clean pennies, shouldn't we just clean all of them? Wouldn't they all be clean? Or is there a lot of pennies out in the world? There's a lot of pennies out there. It'd be kind of tough. So why, if they're older, what's causing them to look this dark and this dull? Do you know what's causing that? You don't know? What is in the air that we breathe? Oxygen. And when oxygen works with other chemicals, like, what is a penny made out of? It does. It starts with, it is copper. That's okay. You don't have to remember everything. Our brains are only meant to hold so much. So, it's copper. So when the air and the copper meet, and some of our oils from our skin sticks to it, all of that creates a word called tarnish. So these are tarnished pennies. But we can take something like a lemon and make it untarnished. Take that tarnish off. So with the real lemon, I've got to squeeze it. You've probably seen this on Food Network. And they say you've got to squeeze it and roll it to get the juices working in it. See if my knife is tough enough to do the job it is. So in this experiment, what we're going to do is we are going to put drops of this lemon juice in different spots on these pennies. On one of them, we're going to put it on the face of Mr. Lincoln, President Lincoln. So we'll put just a drop on his face. On another one, we're going to put it just on the date. Then we'll flip it over on the third one, we'll flip over on the back, and we'll put it on the E pluribus unum. Up here, it's at the top. It's above the building. So if you need help figuring out where that goes, I will gladly help you. And I'm just going to cut this one in half. It should do the trick because you just need one little drop on each part. So here's your lemon, Will. And here's your lemon, Miss Elaine. And on the first one, just put a drop on his head. See if you can just squeeze one little drop on the head and then just leave it there. You're going to squeeze it a little bit. You're squeezing all in the wrong place. There we go. That's on it in the head, not over here. On the date. Oh. Try, since it's getting right here, that's where your drops are coming. Move that over. Did you get it? A little bit, just a little bit more. There you go. Is that on the date? Move it down to the date. There you go. Now on this one, do it up at the top part. Okay? And it takes it a few minutes to do that. It's going to take it a few minutes. It takes about 10 minutes. And then, well, we'll see the action in about 5 minutes. But we can talk about what the pennies look like right now. What do they look like? You can see something happening. What do you see happening? It's turning gold, or what kind of coin is it? Copper. So it's turning back to copper. If it was gold, it would look like that. Why? That's a good question. My ring is old. It's about as old as some of those pennies. So why isn't it turning? It's metal. Why isn't it turning the color like that? Do all metals? Not all metals. Do you know of another metal that does? Sometimes we have our silverware. Why do we say silverware? Because it's made out of silver. Well, sometimes not anymore, but way back in the olden days, before Bobby was even born, the teacher was even born, it was made out of real silver. And when the air mixed with it, it would tarnish. What about a car? A car is made out of what kind of metal? You don't know? Do you know?
Steel.
It's made out of steel. So when steel meets with the oxygen, what do you see on a car? Do you know what that is? No?
Is it rust?
It's called rust. It is rust. That's okay. That's okay. You're learning, aren't you? If I ask you tomorrow what is on a car after the oxygen mixes with the steel, what would you say? You would say rust. So now you know, right?